Hi, this is Jaya. In this video, we shall see the summary of Lines on a Young Lady's Photograph Album, a poem by Philip Larkin. Philip Larkin was an English poet and novelist. He was born in 1922 and is best known for his poetry collection is The Whitsun Weddings, which was published in 1964. This poem is about memory and the past. The speaker here relishes the access he has to his lover's past when he looks through her photos. This is a 9 stanza poem and it is separated into sets of 5 lines or quintains. Here, the speaker begins by directly addressing the lady named in the title of the poem. She has finally yielded her album to him, that is, she has allowed him to see her album. She opened it and dedicated herself to studying it, like she is also enjoying seeing her photos. And within the album, he can see all of her ages, that is, from a young age to her present. She has taken a lot of photos and collected it. And the photos are sometimes matte and sometimes glossy. It is the quality of the photo, and every one of them is secured to a quality black piece of paper. There is so much for the speaker to see within the album that it's like being in a candy store. He's so happy. If a small child is sent to a candy store, there'll be so much of sweets for the child to have. Like that, he feels that he is in a candy store. He cannot take all the confectionery at one time, like he knows very well. Even if the child is left into a candy shop and said that it can have full access to it, it can only eat one chocolate at a time. In the same way, he says, I also know I cannot have all at one because the sweets are too rich, and he is choking on the images as he tries to see them all at one time. He also calls them nutritious because he feels as if they are improving him. His body desires more and is becoming more excited with each page because he is so much attracted towards that lady. And his eyes moves from image to image, taking in all the different poses his listener, that is the lady, is striking. They are ones from her young age in which she is wearing pigtails. There is another way she is holding a cat, and these images go from nostalgic to romantic. That is, as he sees her past images, he falls more and more in love with her. It is clear that he is idolizing this photo. They are to him perfect moments in his person's past. The speaker notes that these photos are testing his control. They seem to break him down. A few of the older photos draw his attention and provoke a different emotional response. He sees that there were a number of disquieting or discording young men who stood around her in a youth. So she must be a very beautiful lady and naturally very attractive if she is more young, and therefore a number of men were wooing her. And he speaks of them as lolling as if they are listless and perhaps useless. But now it is useless because these men are her pastor. And he directly tells her that the young men were not quite her class. So, and at the same time, when he sees those men, he feels that she is of a superior class. She has a quality about her which did not definitely match those men. Those men were inferior to her. And he also expresses his distress over the wonders and disappointments inherent to the art of photography, because the photography is easily able to record dull days in all their dullness. The art also equally captures folded poses and fake smiles. It does not hide blemishes on the face or messed up clothes. Everything in a photo is wonderfully and terribly as it was when it happened. The photo is something which takes what it sees, what is shown to it. So he says that we have to just take it like that. But the photograph will never capture what the real you are. On the less satisfying side of the equation, photography is also able to obscure the real. Sometimes it shows something to be one way when it definitely wasn't and isn't. The speaker gives the example of a disc inclined cat and a doubled chin, that is the lady, and these photos show him the real girl in a real place. He is able to get an account of her life he has never had. So now these photographs tells him the certain parts of life which he does not know about her. It reveals the truth. And he exclaims how empirically true the photos make her life seem. They are the evidence of all the events she has told him about and the things he has learnt about her. So when he sees the photographs, he realizes that whatever she has told to him, the truth is shown in the photos also. So he knows that what she has told him is the real, and these photos are the evidence. And also what he had known about her also, he is able to realize that they are also true looking at the photos. And the images impact his heart so deeply, he feels lacerated by the parks and motors, because the listener is also looking out from the date. The past is usually nothing to him. And another thing he notices, she also has to note down the date only looking at the album, meaning that many of the photos, like she herself has to recall what had happened. So she has not given importance to certain things, and that actually makes him happy, because only the present is real. And due to the inability of the past to become the present, one is able to move on. Past can never become the present. Past is past, and we have to move on to the future. And whatever happened has happened. One can only react to it in the present. And therefore he feels himself drawing closer to her, but at the same time there are vast gaps from picture to picture, and the space between his eye and the page. There is lot of missing information, and therefore he is forced to love what he has. He has to mourn over the photos of her as a child leaning against a fence. He expresses deepest regret while looking over the photos. After initially pleasing him to no end, they bring him into a solemn state. He knows the past she lived, no one now can share. It is locked away from him or from anyone else she might share her future with. The photos contain her in the past, but the future only holds her. And she is there in his future, in the world's future, and he is only planning on getting to know her better. She is going to get clearer as the years go by. Now let's read the poem. At last you yielded up the album. So now we know that the poem is written in a way that the speaker is speaking to a listener, and he is telling her, yielded to the album means you have allowed me to see your album, which once opened sent me distracted. But the moment the album was opened, I am distracted. All your ages, matte and glossy. Matte and glossy is now the quality of the photo. Some are matte, some are glossy. On the thick black pages. I can see you in all different ages, from your young age to now. Too much confectionery, too rich. It is so much of sweets, it's too rich. I choke on such nutritious images, but for me, all the images are so nutritious, it's giving me energy. My swell eye hungers from pose to pose, in pigtails, clutching a reluctant cat, or furred yourself, a sweet girl graduate, or lifting a heavy-headed rose beneath a trellis, or in a trilby hat. And when I see all these different poses in the picture, like one picture is with you with your pigtails, another you are carrying a cat, another thing is you are a sweet girl in your graduation, or you are lifting a heavy-headed rose, that is a rose with lots of petals. Like that, they are different images, faintly disturbing that in several ways. From every side you stroke at my control, and when I look at each and every photos, your images are really making me to lose my control. Not least through these disquieting chaps who loll at ease about your early days. Not only are the lovely pictures, I am even distracted, I am losing my control on seeing these young, he calls them chaps, that is men, who were actually going around her during her early days, that is during her youth. Not quite your class, but definitely those men are not up to your standard. I would say, dear, on the whole, that is not just one or two, all the men who were at the back of you in your youth are definitely not to your standard. But oh, photography, as no art is, faithful and disappointing. But a photo will only show what is shown in front of it, and therefore some photos I know they are faithful, some photos are really disappointing. That records dull days as dull, and hold its smiles as frauds, and will not censor blemishes like washing lines and Hall's distemper boards, but shows a cat as disinclined and shades a chin as doubled when it is. What grace your candor thus confers upon your face. The photograph will show everything. It will even show the cat which is not very comfortable. It will even show your double chin, and even that, he says, is very graceful on your face. How overwhelming persuades that this is a real girl in a real place. But when you see a photograph, you know that you're seeing a real girl in the real place. That is, you see the real personality of the person. In every sense, empirical true. Or is it just the past? Those flowers that gate, these misty parks and motors, lacquerate simply by being you. You contract my heart by looking out of date. And now, when I see this, these are all the truth. But thing is, it is the past. Everything is the past. And it is also what you were in the past. And you contract my heart by looking out of date. Now, when I see you, you are different from what is in the photograph. Yes, true, but in the end, surely we cry. Not only at exclusion, but because it leaves us free to cry. We know what was, won't call on us to justify our grief, however hard we yell across. The gap from eye to page, so I am left to moan without a chance of consequence. You balanced on a bike against a fence to wonder if you would spot the theft of this one of you bathing to condenser. In short, a past that no one now can share. See, past is past. Now I cannot share, or no one can share with you your past because that is gone. No matter who's your future, calm and dry. Now he is hoping to be her future, but he says, whoever is going to be in your future, calm and dry, it holds you like a heaven, and you lie unbearably lovely there. And he says, whoever it is going to be who's going to share your future, when they see all this, when they see your past, they will know that you are like a heaven, and you lie unbearably lovely there, smaller and clearer as the years go by. And he says, definitely this past will go, but future is there for us, and here ends the poem. If you have anything more to add on to what I've said, please write it in the comment box, like the video, share it with your friends, and if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe and support. Thank you.